Hey, welcome to Fitness at Home. I'm Clint Grimes, and today's video is about how resistance bands can save your rotator cuff. In this video, I want to talk to you straight about preserving your rotator cuff. I made a video a little while back about my degenerative back condition, and I got a good response. Well, I was able to save myself from surgery on this one, so let's get started. I want to start by saying everybody wants to sell something on YouTube. I want to sell stuff on YouTube. That's not the purpose of this video. I want to warn those coming up behind me about this so you can continue to work out without pain for years and years to come. I am just an old guy who likes to work out in his garage. I'm going to turn 60 this year. 60. I've been working out at home, with the exception of military deployments, for 35 years. Now I looked at my analytics, and according to my analytics, it says that the average person that views my YouTube videos is 24 to 35 years old. So on the top end, if you're the average viewer, I got 25 years of experience on you, okay? So I'm doing this for you so you don't make a mistake, so you can continue to work out without pain. Okay, I always lifted heavy for decades. AHAP, as heavy as possible. Decades and decades and decades of bench pressing, and military pressing. And after years and years and years, I started to feel a little twinge here in my left shoulder. It was getting sore. And I looked around, and my peer group, was suffering these little twinges and aches and pains. And I saw two of my peer group get shoulder replacements. So that caught my attention. So I started doing a little research, doing some reading about the rotator cuff, and this is what I found. Where you have the biggest chance to injure yourself are the lifts where you're pressing straight towards the sky. And that would be the military press and the bench press. So let's assume, for demonstration purposes, that we have 200 pounds on this bar that's on my chest here. And you've unracked it and you've lowered it down to your chest and you're going to press it. It weighs 200 pounds, whether it's at the bottom or whether it's at the top. So you start to press it, you got to use a lot of force and a lot of momentum to get it going, because down at the bottom of your lift is the weakest part of your lift. This is where you're at a mechanical disadvantage. And as you press towards the sky, your mechanical advantage starts to kick in, and it becomes easier to press, and then you get it all the way to the top. And once you get it to the top and lock out, it's at its easiest point. It's easy for you to hold it up. Okay, then the eccentric motion starts, and you start to lower it. And this time it works in reverse. You can control it a lot better at the top, and as you get toward the bottom, your mechanical advantage becomes a disadvantage, and it becomes harder and harder to control as you lower it to the bottom and you get back down at the bottom where you're the weakest. Trying to control the weight on the way down during the eccentric part of the motion is where you're going to get hurt. How I solved my problem and how I made myself a lot safer was resistance bands. So we're going to do a chest press. This is the same as that bench press we did in there, except we're going to go on a horizontal plane, right? And we're going to use resistance bands, and let's assume the same 200 pounds that we assumed in there. Okay, the big difference here is linear variable resistance. So remember how that bar weighed 200 pounds, no matter if it was at the bottom or if it was at the top? Okay, well, we're going to start to lift with these bands, and at the bottom, it doesn't take as much resistance to move the bands. But the farther you stretch them to the end of the lift, the harder they are to stretch. And when you get them all the way stretched out, you're at your 200 pounds. When your mechanical advantage is the most, the resistance is the most. And likewise, when you do it in reverse and you start to lower it, as your mechanical advantage decreases and your resistance on the bands decreases with it. So down at the bottom of the lift, where your mechanical advantage is the least, it takes the least amount of resistance to move the band. And that my friend, is what's going to save your rotator cuff. With regards to my upper body, other than the occasional lat pull down, I got a lat pull down machine over there, I don't lift weights anymore. I do some pull-ups, but for my upper body routine, I exclusively use resistance bands, except for those exceptions that I just mentioned. I do use weights for legs. Here's my vertical leg press right there above you. This right here is a stackable 150-pound resistance band set with bands stackable in 10-pound increments. I'm going to put an affiliate link to that in the description below. I say, you know, I'm a macho man, Clint. 150 pounds, 275-pound dumbbells isn't going to do it for me. You only have 150 pounds. Nah, not really. I really have 300 pounds. It can be done. Do I want you to buy these from me? Hey, it's an alternative. Do it if you want to. Don't do it if you don't want to. The important thing is that you have the information, and what I want you to do is listen to your body. Be careful. Develop strategies to keep you working out without injury, so that when you're almost 60 like me, you can make a video like this one to help the youngsters coming up behind you. If you found this video helpful, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more tips on staying fit and injury-free as we grow older. That's it. That's all. See you next time.